Is it the Mkansi? Yes, the other side of the Mkansi River. We are talking about our property development specialists from MHG, and today we want to talk a little bit. We will always give the details and give you an idea of what it is that happens at this development. It's pretty much a super suburb, if you want to call it that. The Kids Beach Green Estate. By the time you enter the gate, it's a whole new world within the world you live in. I like to see it that way. If I didn't believe it before, knowing what I know now, I can't deny it. And we love to see that, and we love to get to know more information, and we love to bring it to you as well, because here we are not trying to sell you property. It's the lifestyle you want to know about. And when you like the lifestyle, you'll go find out where you want to live there. Given that, it's 22 minutes after 10. This morning, I'm joined by the head of architecture from MHG at the Kids Beach Green Estate. His name is Mr. Wernen Van Schalkwyk. Werner, good morning. How are you, my brother?
A lot better. Privileged to be here.
Thanks, man. And it's good that you came through, We have talked with so many different members and team members of the machine that keeps the Kids Beach Green Estate running. We haven't gotten to this point yet,
Gotcha.
about the people who you go see when you've decided, look, this is where I want to stay. However, this is kind of how I'd like the place to look, and these are the features I'd like, and this is what I see the place turning into eventually. Maybe we'll start here, then we'll do this. But all of that, obviously, it's very technical. It's not something you can draw in pencil and be like, just take 2 giant steps that way, and because it's an exact science, but it's also a measure of a lifestyle that you are developing for yourself. So the process of constructing a home, it involves many different disciplines and things of that nature, trades, transactions. What is the role of an architect? Sorry about that.
No, not a problem. I think you've laid the platform pretty well. So the dream is always very exciting.
Yes.
For any new owner, they've already started quite a journey from initial interest in the Kids Beach Green Estate. At the point they meet the architect, they've obviously already engaged with many, not many, but sales agents, considered many options. I must say we've got a very good sales team. All the clients that eventually reaches us after going through the process with the sales agents, I think they've all made a very good connection and tailor-made options for the different clients. So I must compliment them on that process, because even that in itself, because like you've also said, we're not just selling properties. I think we're selling a lifestyle.
Yes.
And within that lifestyle, we sell relationships, because your journey is a very personal one for any client. So from the sales agent, being able to understand and interpret their needs, to eventually suggest and recommend the right product
Yes.
for them and the correct home, and then they get handed over to the architect. From our experience, the whole process of construction, like you've said, is very involved. And I've found as an architect often actually quite overwhelming and confusing for a lot of clients, because the moment you think of your home and it's exciting, but the moment you start to consider what are the factors that's now going to be involved in making it possible, from things you may not necessarily think of initially.
Yeah.
Who's going to order the bricks to build it with, and where must they go? So there's a lot of factors for a client and for an owner, which I think the simplest way to summarize the role of an architect is this complex industry of construction is we are dream translators. So you take you put the details into the dream. Yes. And we do take, I think as the architect, we are the one point in the whole process where where we can afford to stop long enough to pay personal attention after the sales agent to this unique client that we're sitting with. It's not just a impersonal rollout of houses. It's when you meet with the architect, things really get to slow down for us to understand exactly who my client is, what exactly their needs are, because I now need to go and translate that to a complex industry. There's builders, there's people ordering things,
Right.
there's people trying to keep to program. So the best way I can translate your dream to the complex machine behind it all, I think the architect is really the client's opportunity to be known personal and have the trust that I'm entrusting my dream over to this new person that I've met, the architect, and we know all the different languages, the on-site labor language and the procurement language, to make sure that all the different disciplines involved in your dream understands exactly what the original message was.
And I guess also like all the latest materials that are available, all the like all the trimmings, all of the, and all of this, obviously by the time you guys are done with the process, everything is not just drawn there, but everything that's supposed to be there is also detailed in there, and the dream of the client is on a piece of paper, which now can be translated.
The drawing, there's a common understanding or impression that the architect does drawings, but we found that the drawing happens to be the best tool for the different people we have to communicate the dream to. That's the best language to communicate it with. So it definitely involves drawings, but like you say, there's all the intricate details that goes with that, which eventually makes it possible for the rest of the team to hand over the dream home for the client.
So with the function of an architect that we've just explained, well, what is the benefit to a potential buyer at the Kids Beach Green Estate that their purchase also offers in-house architectural services? I mean, that's unique to a development like the Green Estate, because there's different levels, or not even levels, can I say, but different varieties and options of the types of ownership that you can have there. But there's also a possibility of buying or securing a position within there that is just land, and then coming to you guys and saying, okay, this is what I'm thinking. And I think you guys would know better how to orientate it. Which way should I face this? I need this and this and this. I just don't know where I want to put it, but this is the prime property that I've chosen. So can you unpack that process and why it's having an in-house option like that is so much better for a potential buyer?
I really think it's one of the it's an investment that the developer has made to appoint an in-house architect, and the purpose of that investment is purely for the client's benefit, because the developer, MHG, has a very personal approach to their clients, and they have identified, how can we make this as personal and intimate as possible? And with the involvement of the architect is exactly that. So you have somebody at your disposal, and it's included within your purchase amount. So normally this is an additional service that any client would need to acquire additional to the expense they already have. So because the developer, MHG, wants every owner to have their dream come true, they've made this investment. So with the complexity of what we've just explained, with all the different disciplines and trades that's involved in making your dream home a success at the end of the day, the architect is very much there to your disposal to steer and ensure that all the parties involved understands exactly what was the discussion that was had with the client in the first place. So not everybody gets the opportunity to get to know and meet the client personally. But that's entrusted over to the architect, and I think it really is something that sets the Kids Beach Green Estate apart from other developments, because as much as we have a standard house type that we suggest, that's not to say it's suitable for you and your specific family and your lifestyle within this bigger lifestyle.
Right.
Your home becomes your own micro lifestyle in this bigger lifestyle that we're offering. And so the benefit of having the architect on board at your disposal really gives it that extra edge over other developments, where not only will eventually provide you with a home, you can live there knowing that this home is unique to us, and the architect makes that possible for the buyers within the Kids Beach Green Estate.
And I mean, it's a totally different story buying an existing structure, and then as opposed to maybe taking something from the ground up, where you literally stand on a plot of land, you say, those are my boundaries from there to there, there to there, and you literally have this vision of it, and then eventually there's a structure to it. So, building it up there. And also, I guess this is why people work so hard to get to a point where they can do that, because that's your dream coming to life, literally.
Yes.
So, what kind of complications or difficulties as an architect do you run into in the construction industry? And maybe you can make some examples of the things that sometimes can happen.
I think it's part of the evidence that we take this journey for the clients very personal. I always say we are very intentional and structured as to making sure your dream come true, and things do still go wrong. But I always say, look what happens with me putting in all my effort. Imagine if I did nothing at all.
Wow.
So that's with being intentional and focused on it, and you do still miss things. Some examples may be that there's a lot of communication and transferring of information taking place. And a big thing, and it's not just isolated or unique to construction in itself. I think it's general, where communication is a critical thing. So we are constantly refining our systems and the structure of our information. It's no use doing the drawing in a certain way, but the person who needs to build from it doesn't understand the information. So examples of complications that we have faced in the past is, for example, the certain way that we've communicated maybe a detail of where exactly the staircase must be going, or then the information that they build off from wasn't representing 100% what it is that was required.
Yes.
So, and like I say, that's with us putting in all the effort. So we are constantly refining the process. So we're not ignorant and saying, we're definitely the best team, but I know the interest is and the intention is always there. We have constant sessions where we workshop how can we do even better, because we want obviously the process to be as smooth as possible for the client. It's quite a stressful thing. It's a lot of money that you're investing. But I must say, from all the different projects I've been involved, being part of MHG and on the Kids Beach Green Estate, the operational team is running so well. I think that the things that we do experience or encounter, they're marginal, and it's really a privilege for me as an architect to be part of such a well-operating team, because the construction process is very complex.
So, in your profession, what's your margin of error? What's your margin of because it's such a exact or precise industry or craft, what's your margin of error? As from your side now, I mean, you've been given the idea or the specifications. Is there any wiggle room whatsoever?
There probably is. I think my problem is I don't allow myself. I have this zero tolerance expectancy for myself, with grace. Obviously you achieve that through a team. It would not be possible if I didn't have, a project coordinator for our department and the team that's putting in all the production of it, making sure the drawings are done correctly. So I put the zero tolerance on myself.
On yourself.
but with grace to the team that very, they just very. I really appreciate my team that's behind all of this, because they really sincerely put in everything to make sure that zero tolerance is honored. But to answer the question, there really shouldn't be any mistakes.
Sure.
And I think the critical thing that drives, for me, how much error is allowed, the big thing for me is I want to always make sure that it's not at the cost of the client.
Very important.
Yeah. And you know, the developer, obviously it's a business, so they need to remain profitable. So the errors, if it's an unforeseen error, we learn from that. But
Or something beyond your control, like a natural control.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate to not have something like that. But it's a difficult one. That's my weakness, is my zero
tolerance.
Kind of a zero tolerance approach. But I do think there must always be compassion and understanding with the error that have occurred.
Yeah.
Because we are all growing. But as the architect, I would like for everything to be exact and in place.
And I mean, what kind of trends, Werner, have you noticed in this growing community from the architectural side? You know, are there certain features or things that people are gravitating towards because of, you know, how their properties are situated or wherever they've decided to build? Are there things that they go out there specifically for because this is, you know, in that area it will allow them to do A, B, C, D, and E with such a feature?
Yeah, I think what I have noticed, especially in what people require in designing their homes for them, I think working from home has had a big change in lifestyle. So we have found that, I think not too long ago, a lot of the design was focused on some sort of an external, representing something on the external, where I'm finding with our clients that the designs are becoming more and more family orientated, which is encouraging for me. I'm very excited about that as an architect.
So they're prioritizing like living spaces and common
being together.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
Which is actually a really beautiful thing. And I think spending more time at home, you start to realize that there's a lot of facets about your home that, if designed correctly, can actually make that time that you spend at home a very pleasant experience. The wind blows. We're at the coast. The sun is predictable. It keeps its path. So people are becoming more and more conscious of how, and especially we're in South Africa, so we have a very nice climate. So your exterior, interior lifestyle combined with this family unity lifestyle, I'm finding that that's becoming a requirement from clients. They understand it themselves and wanting to see, hey, how can we adjust our home to offer me exactly that, and a separate private study area. So those are new trends that I find is developing.
Are people adding things like home offices now, like, you know, in part of their whole?
Very much so. We're finding more and more. In fact, almost every client we sit with, they all have a new requirement where I don't need a lot of space, but I do need a study. I need some place where I can have it a little bit private for online meetings, but then as for the rest of the time, it's accessible for the rest of the family to do homework online, etc. But I think a study is something that has started to occur more often in our designs.
So the challenges and rewards, how would you describe Kids Beach Green Estate from an architectural profession point of view?
As a professional, being involved with the Kids Beach Green Estate, I've had the privilege to grow professionally quite a lot.
Okay.
I think any architect that comes out of an exclusively architectural only environment, I think you have a very limited growth and opportunity as a professional because you're not so intricately involved. So with MHG, it's an all in-house operation and team, which is a privilege because I see what the person struggles with that needs to order the tiles. You know, kind of things that suppliers asks them, well, is it this tile or that tile? Whereas when you're only the architect, you design and you almost expect people to do what you thought you translated to them. But now, if you're part of the in-house team, that's also my problem. If the person ordering the tiles has a difficult time to know what to order, then it means my information is not correct. So I've been able to grow professionally.
You haven't specified clearly enough, or whatever the case.
It's part of my description that is not enabling that other person to excel in what is expected of them. So it's been a real privilege to work like that. So initially, if you just come out of a exclusively architecture-only environment, that is a challenge. There's a lot of growth that's required from you all of a sudden. But if you recognize the opportunity of that, you're in a very privileged position as a professional to be part of something like what we're doing at Kids Beach Green Estate.
And the people element, how important is that for you as an architect? You know, obviously the end product and the technicalities, those are part of what you do.
Yes.
But I mean, dealing with a person who may or may not necessarily know exactly what they want, but they have an idea of what they're thinking about, and then you kind of picking from their brain something and making it so technical that when you show it back to them, they're like, yes, exactly. You know,
that's kind of one of the key things that I secretly look for in every meeting with a client, and I think that's what I enjoy as an architect. Is it's not predictable and it's personal, and every client is unique. And as much as you have many projects running simultaneously, the reward for me is having this privilege and opportunity to approach every project as unique. This is your home, and it's not the same as your neighbor. And I think one of which is probably why architecture is more than just doing the drawing, because it takes an extra additional skill to sit with that client and understand specifically what is it that you're looking for. And one of the things I always look for in the meeting is I listen and I try and understand and process, and the moment I give feedback and the client goes, exactly, then I'm like, we've developed that understanding. So this journey now has started, and they gain trust knowing, I think my project and my investment is in good hands.
It's in good hands.
And it's, so as an architect, you know, that for me is one of the rewards, to link back to the previous question.
And generally, do most of the clients that you deal with speak the language, or are they mostly, it's an idea that needs translation of some kind?
I think that's why in the beginning I refer to it as translating it back into different languages, into construction languages, because everybody approach you with their terminologies, their understanding of what it is. I think once you've been expected to express your vision either in words or in a drawing or a Pinterest photo or something, you do need to be adaptable and change your understanding the whole time, because not everybody expresses exactly what it is they're looking for. And that's why the architect is actually such a important element in this whole process, because we've been trained not just to draw, but to do exactly that, to really interpret like every client's needs and their vision. So we can go like, oh, okay, yes, I hear you. Let me go and translate that into a drawing. Is this what you were referring to? It is a process, but I think for me that's part of the rewards of being an architect is because at the end of the day I enjoy that interaction between me and another person.
So my last question, Werner, as an architect now, strictly as a professional, when you look at the Kids Beach Green Estate, what do you see as an architect?
Wow, I'm excited. You start your life's journey as a kid, and you start your life in a town. So it's already there. And I think with Kids Beach, in my lifetime, to be part of building a whole new town from the beginning,
Right.
that's a rare opportunity and privilege. And as an architect, I feel very honored to be part of knowing if we can look back in a few years and go like, there was not a town there. It was a little village. Yes, there was some homes, but if I look back, it's a whole new town.
Yeah, and I mean, the town was down at the end.
Yeah.
It was a small little road, and then you come into the town, and now there's this,
Yeah.
wow, you know?
Yeah, and I don't think every architect gets that opportunity. So as an architect, I'm feeling very privileged to be part of the Kids Beach Green Estate team. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a footprint associated with it.
Absolutely.
That, and because we're talking about property, it's a footprint that undoubtedly won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah,
it's something.
permanent. It's permanent.
Thank you so much. And this is so important for people to know that this is not something that is far-fetched. This is happening right now on a daily basis, just a stone's throw away from the hustle and bustle of the CBD in East London. Just after the airport, a few kilometers later, there's a whole lifestyle waiting to happen there, and it's happening at Kids Beach Green Estate, thanks to MHG and the way that things are developing. And it's so important that you check us out on these talks that we have with all of our partners from there, because this is how you get to know what's really happening there. Besides just the fact that when you go there and you see the units and you see the development, there's a story within a story within a story that brought everything about. And Werner was one of the people who has joined us along with a lot of others to come and give us a bigger understanding on the inner workings. And so we want to thank you for that, and also just to say keep up the good work, because as things grow and as things expand, the vision, the bigger vision, becomes more and more clear, and more people start to understand it. And I think even through your own words, now they get to do that. And once they come and interact with your team of architects, etc., then they also get a better understanding of why it's so important that things get done in-house the way that you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I want to steal some of your time here, but also from, I'm an architect, I'm a professional, but I'm also a person. And I look at Kids Beach, and of all the different things I've been involved in as an architect, I also want to say that with Kids Beach, there's something really great taking place there, but you can also miss the opportunity. So my experience with property is right now, it's still accessible and the momentum is there. And
it's accessible. You can get in.
Yeah, because I've missed the boat a couple of times in my own personal capacity, where you see it's happening and you hear the excitement, and you kind of not realizing exactly the momentum that's there, and then you
hesitate.
When you realize it too late, it's not accessible anymore. Then so I think as much as what's going on there, it's worth considering what's going on there, because you can miss the boat. So while it's accessible, there's lots of opportunity.
And you don't want to miss the boat.
It's not a nice feeling. No, I know. I've got experience with that feeling. It's not a pleasant one.
Oh man, Mr. Wernen Van Schalkwyk from MHG, the head of architecture. And I'm just saying, if you manage to work yourself to a position where you secure yourself a piece of the green estate, even just a piece of land, this is probably the man you're going to deal with, him and his team. And trust me, I don't think you can go wrong. Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
We are extraterrestrial. We are KNR.
We're Kids Beach. Wow. Nanso-ke Kids Beach yam. My healthy grass, my happy garden, my home ground. I smell your salty breeze as it blows